أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا إنك سميع مجيب الدعاء. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع وقلب لا يخشع ونفس لا تشبع ودعاء لا يسمع. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I'm going to cover two diseases of the heart. So one of the diseases I want to cover today is anger. Anger is becoming another epidemic. Very recently, I was leaving the masjid. There's a car stopping just after Walgreen. And someone is throwing things from the car. Throwing things. And you can tell a young boy, 17, 18, maybe in the 20s, not older, coming out, throwing something and going back. And somebody in the car follow him, pull him, he leaves, get things, and then throw it on the road. And of course, finally, police came in and all this. So it's typical rage, anger. And I was saying to myself, if this person had a gun, he's probably have killed himself or killed the person in front of him, or he had probably killed whoever is there. It's becoming very common. I'm not talking about the killing, I'm talking about the anger. There is a lot, we get angry very easily. And why is that? And it's a disease of the heart. A disease of the heart is called anger. And Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, and you have it in your handout, had many sayings about anger. There's 2 or 3 hadith that we need to learn if we didn't learn, if we learned it before, and learn if we didn't. And then one ayah in the Quran is the cure. So let's start with what he said. And this is something you probably, most of you know. One of the Sahabi, the companion, came to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. And this is a hadith on Sahih. And he said, awsini, just give me an advice. Give me an advice. One word, actually it's 2. لا تغضب. Don't get mad. Don't get upset. First time. Second time, same answer. لا تغضب. Don't get upset. Third time, لا تغضب. 3 times. Not a single word after it. And you wonder why. I mean, there's a long commentary about it too. But they say that Sahabi, that companion specifically had an issue with anger. So the first thing is, do I have an issue with anger? Not for a good reason. ليس غضب لله. It's not because you saw somebody not praying at Maghrib time. I'm not talking about this. That's the good one. I'm talking about ghadab. Children didn't listen to me. My friend didn't answer my call. They didn't invite me. You know, the usual dunya issues. Then the next question comes in, how many of you can control it? How many can apply the ayah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it in Ali Imran. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ Allahu yuhibbul muhsinin. Those who forgiven part. Number 1, they control kadhimin. This is why Allah said, He didn't say la yaghdabun, that they do not get angry. There is no place in the Quran He says la yaghdabun. They do not get angry. No, they control it. Actually, they hide it. Al-kadhimin, kadhm al-ghayz is when you control it and you don't show it. Number 1. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Number 2. So you get upset with them, you don't respond, but that's not it, and you forgive and pardon. Nothing happened. Wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin. You do these 2, you become a muhsin. Excellent, or excellence in manners. Very difficult. It's very difficult. Why do we get angry? That's the main thing we need to learn. I'm not talking about my son didn't listen to me, or my husband did this, or my coworker did that. I'm not talking about this. What makes me and you have the feeling? Think of it this way. Why in the same situation, one person will be al-kadhimin al-ghayz, they control, and the other person cannot. Why? It's ego. The essence of anger is ego. That's not my words. This is what the scholars of the hearts teaches you and me. It's ego. She didn't listen to me. She didn't follow my orders. And I feel, so number one is ego. It's kibr. Usually it's all is kibr. Because the first creation of Allah that got angry was who? Shaitan. He got angry. I am not doing this. This is not fair. That's exactly, if you analyze what Allah said in the Quran, He didn't say it's not fair. He said, I'm better than him. But this is how, when we speak, I'm not doing it. This is not fair. I'm better. I deserve better. All these words we use on daily. So al-ghadab, origin of it, the essence of it is ego. And the other thing is, another hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, a man came to him and says, what will save me from the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What do I do? So I know Allah will not be upset with me. What ماذا يبعدني عن غضب الله? He said, لا تغضب. Same thing. He said, لا تغضب. What will push me, save me from the anger of Allah? You know, you thought all the other thinking, you know, stand up in tahajjud in the night, all these. It's لا تغضب. Don't be upset. Don't get angry. Don't get angry. And every time you hear لا تغضب, you have to think of it. It's not the feeling. It's the reaction to the feeling, what he means. Because the feeling is natural. The feeling, Allah put it in us. And actually there is a good anger, which rarely we have it. Rarely we are angry for Allah. Rarely. I didn't say never, but rarely I am upset for Allah. And I always give this example. Some of you have heard this many times from mothers. Your child comes in, or your son, your daughter comes from, and then their card is C. Or they did not get accepted to whatever you were hoping and planning, and you're planning to talk about it. How angry you will get. And then the child, he or she, or the son, he or the daughter, does not wake up for Fajr. Nothing. The first one is غضب للنفس. The first one, I am angry because of me, my ego. This is my son. I need him or her to be this and that, and all my friends, their children, this and that. The second one, if you got upset, that's غضب لله. This is why I was trying to tell you there's two kinds. The feeling is natural. We have it. We should actually. We should. Who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word غضب in the Quran about him? In the Quran. موسى, سيدنا موسى. فلما سكت عن موسى الغضب أخذ الألواح. When Musa calmed down. Why did Musa get angry? Why? Because someone did not do this to him or that to him? Or because someone didn't invite him? Or because the son or the child didn't do this or did that? Or because of the husband or because of the wife? Because Allah was disobeyed. And that's when he got very upset with his brother. يَابْنَ أُمِّي لَا تَأْخُذْ بِلِحْيَتِي وَلَا بِرَأْسِي. Don't drag me from my beard and from the head. Because he was telling him, why didn't you stop them from doing this? Worshipping the calf. That's the anger. And that's why Allah showed it in the Quran, meaning get angry for Allah. But again, how you respond. Our most 98% of our anger is not for Allah. إِلَّا مَا رَحِبَ رَبِّي. It's about me. Me and what's in my surrounding. So what will save me from the anger of Allah? Don't get angry. See how it is? What will bring the anger of Allah upon me? When I get angry about people and I respond. Another hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, you have it in your booklet, this one. لَيْسَ الشَّدِيدُ بِالسُّرْعَةِ إِنَّمَا الشَّدِيدُ الَّذِي يَمْلِكُ نَفْسَهُ عِنْدَ الْغَضَبِ. A strong person is not the person who wins in wrestling. It's not physical strength. It's the strong person is the person who controls himself, she or he, when they get angry. Control themselves. It's not easy whatsoever, but becomes very easy once you control your nafs. Once you have control of your nafs, you can control your anger easily. The more my nafs is strong and doing what it wants, then anger is very difficult to control. Very difficult to control. What will help me to control my anger? There's many things, but I'm just sharing with you practical things. One of the things that I personally found very helpful, especially when you get upset with people, which most of the time is the case. So remember how many times you have made Allah upset. How many times? I don't even count. And how many times He forgave me? And how many times He keeps giving me food and drink and health and all the ni'am, the blessings we were talking about. Every time you get upset from someone, remember how many times you have made Allah upset. It really will help you. Really, it's going to help. That's number one. Number two, another practical, it's also in the books you read. How many times you have made somebody upset? How many times? If I will ask you, if we had more time another day, I would have said, list for me the people that you have made upset, that you've seen it. Right? Sometimes you don't even remember, sometimes you don't even know. If I ask the youth how many times you made your mother upset, please don't go there, right? And if I said mothers, how many times you have made your daughters upset? Allah only knows. So remember these two. This will at least a little bit calm you. This is the thinking. 3, remind yourself that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who takes people accountable. And He is the one who can give revenge to you, support you, give you victory. If your anger is because of unfairness, because most of the time we think it's unfair, Allah will give you victory. And I just read it to you this morning in Surah Al-Hajj. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدَافِعُ عَنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ خَوَانٍ كَفُورٍ. Allah is putting a statement here. Inna Allah, verily, surely Allah support the believers. To get number 1, I have to be number 2. I have to be the believer, the real one. He wants me, the abd, and He will support me. Wallah alladhi la ilaha illa. I have seen it, subhanallah, and that person, I said to her after I read her text, I was like, you're a faqih. Somebody was really going through unfairness at work. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave her the victory. So she sent me the text message, said, see what I sent her. She put this ayah. Inna Allah yudafi'u 'anil ladina amanu. Allah gives victory, will give victory to the real believer. In case you wonder, aren't we believer? Where is the victory? I will ask number 1, where is the believers? The real believers. I'm not talking about the external believers. The external acts of obedience. Alhamdulillah, I'm not belittling these, but I'm talking about the real believers. That Allah is their main focus, they do everything for Allah. What we have been learning for the last 2 days. Allah will give you victory, just be patient. Wait. He will give you victory. Allah alladhi la ilaha. He will, and especially when you remind yourself you are able to respond very harsh in words and in action, but you are not doing it for Allah. Because most of us, especially with the children or with the people who are under us, we have control over them. We can easily respond, fire them. I'm leaving the house. Get out of my house. All these things we say, right? Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you victory. Just be patient. And back to Tazkiyah, connect with Him. أصلح حالك مع Allah, rectify your relationship with Allah and see the wonders that's going to come your way. Al-ghadab, that's number 3. Number 4, think of why you get upset. Why did you get upset? For example, betrayal. Betrayal, someone stab you in the back. Not to stab you in the back by talk. Stab you in the back by action and you see it. This is very painful, especially if you were nice to this person, she or he. You did not hurt them, right? What will happen? Right? Imagine, and may Allah protect you all, a spouse betray the wife, or the wife betray the husband. And these are the painful ones, right? Painful ones. And of course you're gonna get very upset. But why did you get upset? That's what I wanted you to feel or to think. Why do I get upset when someone betrays me? Am I right? Exactly. Think of the words that's gonna come from your mouth, not to them, as you are talking to yourself. Remember yesterday when I said, record the voice note for yourself and then delete it? Listen to it or read what you are writing. I did this for you. I was the reason that you were wherever you are. If it was not me, you will not be where you are today. I hear this from wives say this to their husbands. The marriage is done. And the same thing if the husband say this to the wife, it's not about the wife or the husband, it's about the spouses. Because the respect is gone. You know what it should be? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used you. It's not me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used you and He put barakah in your efforts and I see it. So it's because now you know why where is the ego part? In anger, that's how it is. I did it. I spend on you. I fed you. This is how we say. وَالَّذِي هُوَ يُطْعِمُنِي وَيَسْقِينِي. What did Sayyidina Ibrahim said in Surah Al-Shu'ara? He said, who's your Lord? He's the one who created me. And He's the one who feed me and give me water to drink. Sayyidina Ibrahim. It's not, وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِي. When I get sick, He also gives me the cure. It's all, anger is about ego. Is all about ego. So to control anger, see the word I use, control anger. Number 1, work on your ego. That's where I need humbleness. Because the more humble I am, meaning I don't see myself did something. I see Allah did it. And Allah allowed it. I always say this to myself, and I was taught also this long time ago. Who allowed this person to betray me or to hurt me? Who? Allah allowed it. Why did Allah allow it? Test me, teach me, show me, right? So again, if you don't see, remember first day, if you don't see al-akwan, if you don't see the things and you see Him, first question you're gonna say to yourself and myself, what are you telling me? What are you teaching me? When He exposed someone in front of you. This is we find it very difficult. You know why? Because we don't practice it in the small things. So when my car doesn't work in the morning, I don't say, Ya Allah, you didn't want it to work. What are you teaching? So when you start in the small things, basics, then when the major one comes in, natural response. So always when you get upset, when you hear bad news, I'm not talking bad news meaning a news that makes you upset, not makes you sad. Ask yourself this. Turn to Allah. If you are so upset, go in sujood, start crying and says, I am very hurt. What are you teaching me? Show me. Talk to Allah. Talk to Him. Don't talk to people. People is like you. لا يملكون لكم ضرا ولا نفعا. The people who I talk to and vent to, and I'm looking up to they cannot benefit me or hurt me. I think this also principle we forgot. وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّ لَوْ اجْتَمَعَتْ. This is another hadith to Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas. It's a very famous hadith. When he was a young man and following the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, come on in, boy, I'm going to teach you words. And one of them, at the end of it, he said, no, if the whole nation get together to harm you, you will not get hurt except with what something Allah has decreed. Allah allowed it to happen. Go back again to the source. Anger. Practically, there's things which most of you know. Number one, if you're standing, sit down. If you are sitting, stand up. Change position. Subhanallah, change position. Try it. Try it. When you're on the phone or you read a text message, usually these people, very recently, one of my friends, her husband divorced her in a text message, which is valid these days, by the way. So she showed me the text message. 7 children. So you're reading this? You're reading this? I mean, of course it's painful. Of course it hurts. We are human beings, right? But the first thing is, Ya Allah sabburni. If you're sitting, stand. If you're standing, sit. Or run to the bathroom and do wudu. I'm not saying don't cry. I'm not saying don't get upset. But I'm just saying don't show it and act on it immediately. Try to contain it. That's what al-qadm, contain it. Number one is change position. Number two is wudu. And you wonder why wudu. Anger is from shaitan. It's one of the ways shaitan uses. And shaitan is from fire. Water extinguish fire. Simple, easy. Go and do it. Push yourself. It's like, I know. It's not about I know. Go and do it. Go and do it. Another thing is, say astaghfirullah. Start your dhikr. Start your dhikr. I can't tell you what dhikr does, how it calms you down. Don't pick up the phone and someone start talking to them. Because it's going to be, unless you are talking to somebody who's going to calm you down. Unless, I've seen it very recently, someone is so upset and calling another person, so upset. SubhanAllah, that person was very calm, the second person online, very calm. And they said, have you ever said what she said to you? I mean, the word was very harsh. It's always, of course, happens between families and close people. So that person, I was there, that person said, have you ever said to her what she said to you? When there is no answer on the other side, what does that mean? That's the first thing, calm people down, remind them. Don't say, oh no. Don't put more fire. Don't put more wood. Remember when we talked about it yesterday, be the source of khair. Be a light, a torch of spreading khair. This is an opportunity, Allah put you there. Someone called you or texted you. Choose the words to calm people down, even if it's a huge disaster. And I remember one of my friends long time ago, subhanAllah, husband married 4 years, she doesn't know. Got pregnant, we delivered. SubhanAllah. And then we're a group of women, mashallah, tabarakallah, one of them looked at her and said, listen, 2 options, there's no third. So calm. Says you can cry and keep crying and keep talking about him and keep taking more sins and give him all the good deeds you have done. 2 options, either you take it or leave. Deen allows it. Deen allows. You cannot, she said, I'm gonna die. She said, fine, leave. Leave. Alhamdulillah, she doesn't need any financially, she doesn't need to stay. She said, leave. You don't have to stay. That's your right. Or stay. There's no other third. Stop saying things and doing things that it will even put you even more in pain in dunya and akhirah. She kept looking at it and says, don't lose your dunya and akhirah. See the reminders? Remind people of the akhirah. Don't say to her, how can he do this? And you did this and this and this to him. That's what her nafs is telling her. always be the keys of good in anger. If you have to talk to somebody, make sure the one you are going to talk to is that kind of person. Otherwise, don't talk to people. Talk to Allah. Run to your musalla, sit on your sajjada, cry and sob, and says, that's what happens to me. I know I don't deserve it. You help me. You help me. I cannot do this. SubhanAllah. And one of the nice, very nice saying, and this is going to make you think, Iblis talked to Sayyidina Musa. And usually you hear a lot of sayings through Sayyidina Musa. And he says, Iblis, Shaitan, is saying to Sayyidina Musa, beware of getting upset. Imagine this. Because I, Shaitan, play with the angry person like children play with a ball. He said to him, to Shaitan, beware of getting upset, because I play with the strong man who get upset like children plays with a ball. Have you seen children playing with ball? It's not a big heavy ball, very easy, throw it, it goes there, meaning Shaitan throw him from one side to the other. Go right, go left, say this, do that. Remind yourself of this. The more I get upset, the more Shaitan will control me, and I don't want this. And he said, and look at that. This goes to what we said yesterday. And he said, beware of women. I have not put a trap more successful to a man than a trap through a woman. And beware of being miser. I ruin the deen, the religion of a man by making him being miser, showing him that miserness is good. So don't be that woman. That's what I was trying to say to you. Don't be that woman. And miserness is everybody. And don't be so holding to dunya. It's mine. I like it, I love it. Give it before someone else will throw it out. I say this all the time. Have you ever had a member of your family die, like a parent, and you had to go through their closet? Have you done that? It's so painful. It's not because only, these are your beloved people. But just remember all these things that they were holding to it. Whatever this dress, Allah knows how much it cost, or this shoes, how much it cost. Don't be miser, don't hold to things, give. Be a giver. Remember yesterday, generosity, as-sadaqah tutfi'u ghadab al-rabb. Giving, extinguish the anger of Allah. That's giving. Give. Someone asks you for something, give it. Oh, but you don't know, I bought it, how long I worked for it. Give it. One day they will throw it. Very recently, subhanAllah, and I share this with you because these are reality. I rarely go to these estate sales or whatever. Left the masjid early in the morning on a Saturday, just saw a sign said estate sale. Okay, so I stopped. La ilaha illallah. I don't know who's the owner of the house, she or a he, but things that you and I have daily in our homes. I can't tell you the impression it had on me. You know, the comb, the cleaning things, the people who are very clean. They opened it because they're selling everything. You know, the cleaning thing under the sink, right? The ashtray, they left it there. You could tell the husband or works, a handy person, because in the garage is everything you can think of a handyman. And they are selling it for 50 cents each. This is how it is. At the end, sooner or later. Sooner or later. What are you getting upset? And now imagine when somebody breaks something in your house, right? Or you lose something. My great-grandmother gave it to me. At one day, I'm leaving. And it's staying there, and then they're going to be estate sale. These days, who I mean, your children, will they take it? They are in different states. They will come to a state sale because they want the money and done. And 40 or 50% goes to the company of the estate sale. SubhanAllah. And these are all reminders. This is all reminders. You drive in the street and you see all these. That's why Allah said, "Siru fil ardi fanzuru." Walk in this earth and see and learn. So anger is one of the main keys of disobedience to Allah. And I just give myself as a gift to Shaitan. Come and do whatever you want with me. Work on your ego. And one of the results of anger or the cause of anger is actually jealousy. That's another disease. It's jealousy. Like yesterday, remember, I loved the question of the sister. And I will share it with some of you here because you were not with us yesterday. And I don't have the question, but what I remember is that the sister was saying, I have been tested in everything, in health, in wealth, in not having, and my friends all, and they brag about it. That's what, if you remember. I'm using phrase, I don't know if she really used that phrase, but they talk and they brag about their big homes and about their children and about what they have, and I have nothing, and it makes me upset. And this translates to hasad later on. Why does she have it? I don't have it. And I think I am better than her. The moment you say this word, this is a major word. Why? It's because it's kibr, but even bigger than that. I'm sorry? Yeah, hasad. When I say, why does she have this cup? I don't have it. This is not fair. You are questioning Allah's fairness. And Allah is Al-Adl. One of his names, the just. No one else is just except the just is Allah. So why this person has this and I don't have it, right? Somebody, subhanAllah, this was a famous athlete. I don't remember his name. And he, very famous, and he got sick and he was asked in the hospital. I read this. Someone asked him, don't you ever question why did you get sick? You know what was his answer? I never questioned why I was famous. I never questioned why I was famous. We think we deserve what we have, but when we don't have it, we question. No. So al-hasad, there's only two conditions where you are supposed to be a hasid. And of course we don't do it. Two conditions. When someone has it, I don't have it, I will say, I want to be like her. Two things. Anybody knows? Knowledge. No. Knowledge. Okay, I'll give you the hadith. It's a hadith on Sahih. I don't know if I have it in your booklet. لا حسد إلا في اثنتين. There is no jealousy except in two. It's hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. I'm reading it to you. رجل أتاه الله عز وجل القرآن فهو يقوم به آناء الليل والنهار. A man, meaning a human being. Anytime you read in the Islamic terminology, رجل, don't think it's a man meaning masculine. It's a man is a human being. Unless Allah separate. But usually رجل mean man and woman. So a human being, man or woman, she or he, Allah gave them the Quran, meaning they know how to read, they understand, and could be also a hafiz. But what did they do with it? That's where you want to be. It's not to be a hafiz or you know the Quran. قَامَ بِهِ فِي اللَّيْلِ. He stand up in the night reading or reciting. That's one. The second one, وَرَجُلٌ أَتَاهُ اللَّهُ مَالًا. A human, Allah gave a she or a he wealth, money. What did they do with it? They bragged about it and they had bigger homes and bigger cars and more vacations. No. وَرَجُلٌ أَتَاهُ اللَّهُ مَالًا فَهُوَ يُنْفِقْهُ فِي الْحَقِّ أَنَاءَ اللَّيْلِ وَأَنَاءَ النَّهَارِ. He spent it in the right way during the night and during the day, meaning always, always, always. That's the only 2 times I am praised and I am supposed to have the feeling of jealousy. I look at her and I say she memorized the Quran, or she reads very well, or she understands, or all of the above. And not only that, but I came to know that in the night, she stands up in the night reciting the Quran. I was like, Ya Allah, what you gave her, give me. What you gave her, give me. And, or someone, Allah gave them wealth, money, and they spend. Without fear of what about and my 401k and when I'm becoming 65 or Medicare is going to be, what? None of this. Allahu khayrun hafidha. So remember this. Why are we jealous? One reason. One reason. It all the causes comes to this pond. Hubbud dunya. We love this dunya. We love this dunya. We want to have everything in this dunya. And very nice statement, inshallah, I'll be able to share it with you and translate. They said people love dunya and they think they don't have enough because dunya is not enough for everyone. But al-akhirah is enough for everybody. Akhirah is huge. Jannah is huge. You want more, you get more. That's one. And the second thing, which is really interesting, is the good qualities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to people. Even when you share, and I'll give you the example and you'll understand. Even when they share it and give it to the others, nothing, they don't get less. They give an example of someone study and become knowledgeable, and he teaches people, and everybody he teaches becomes knowledgeable. Nothing will get less from his knowledge or her knowledge. Versus money, if you give, people think I'm going to get less. So hubbud dunya, love of this dunya. This is the whole essence of the problems we are having. We love it, we are keen on it, we want to have more of it. And I wish I can say that at least we love dunya as we love akhirah. Or I will say, I love akhirah as I love dunya. Usually it is not. Akhirah is not in my mind. It comes when someone die, I go and pray. Somebody gets sick, somebody gets cancer. I was like, oh ya Allah, that's it. But I don't see it in front of me, and I am going there sooner or later with no age limitation. I mean, alhamdulillah, and especially for the people of St. Louis. So those of you who are outside St. Louis, you will learn. We have a beautiful group here called funeral group. Isn't funeral volunteers, where anyone die in this community, we will get announcement, everybody. And then they will ask for why do you get the announcement? Because there is at least two rewards. Allah brought it to you. One is they ask for volunteers to wash the body, she or he. And the second thing is they tell you when is the janazah prayer. Go and pray janazah. This is when if I go and I pray janazah or I wash the body, I remember. I go in within a few hours, back to the rat race, I call it. So hubbud dunya. You need to remind yourself and mind that dunya is one day like today and another day like yesterday. That's dunya. One day it's raining, it's miserable, it's 30s, and the other day 60 shining. And at one day, there will be nothing left from it. So these are the two diseases I want to share with you. Is again, there's way more to talk about it just because of the time. And I wanted to stress on important things so at least you can take it with you. Do you want to take a break or we continue? Let's continue. We have about 30 minutes, alhamdulillah. Now I'm coming to something else in Tazkiyah, which is one of the cornerstones of Tazkiyah. So now we learned one of the most important thing I am going to work on, which alhamdulillah you all wrote it here, in Tazkiyah is what? What is my goal? Which part of my body that I need to focus on work is the heart, al-qalb, right? Al-qalb is my heart. My problem is my heart. And we talked about the kinds of the heart yesterday. There is an opposite the heart. And I'm gonna just use simple words so you can understand. Compete with the heart has a negative impact on the heart. And it's the reason why 50% of the reason or half the reason why I disobey Allah. And it's called Nafs. It's called Nafs. Now let's talk about the Nafs. There's three kinds or three categories, three parts or three definitions of Nafs. One is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it in the Quran. The way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it in the Quran. And there is another way where the scholars of Tazkiyah put it, taking it from the Quran. So let's go to the Quran first. What did Allah said about the nafs in the Quran? Some of you, I think we have discussed this in the class. What did Allah said? How many types of nafs in the Quran? One He swear by, right? And one in Surah Yusuf, right? And one in Surah Al-Fajr, the one that we all want to be. So there is, yes, Lawama, Al-Mutma'inna, Al-Ammara bis-Su. Perfect. So let's take one by one. Which one you want to start with? Of course, the good one. So let's start with Al-Mutma'inna. What's Al-Mutma'inna? Yeah, it's a very hard to translate it and give it the right meaning. You find some will translate as a nafs in peace. Nafs at peace. Peace. So put peace and then the question comes in peace with what? We'll come to this. Or a nafs that lives in tranquility. Ocean, like the lake today. Smooth. Nothing. No up and downs. Nafsul mutma'inna. Allah said this at the last ayah of Surah Al-Fajr. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية. O soul at peace, return to your Lord, pleased with and pleasing. راضية مرضية. You are pleased with and you are pleased with. Right. So let's see what the scholar said about النفس المطمئنة. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas said, النفس المطمئنة, the nafs at peace is the nafs that believes. It's a huge word. So we say, okay, I am a believer, so I am nafs mutma'inna. Are we? Am I sometimes nafs mutma'inna? Ya Rabbi, Ameen. This is how I will answer. Because I'll tell you what is a nafs mutma'inna, and then you tell me sometimes. Right? So he says, al-nafs al-mutma'inna. He said, al-nafs al-musaddiqa. The nafs that believes. Then Qatada came in and now tells you believes in what? Al-nafs al-mutma'inna. The nafs that believes at peace with every promise Allah made. Every promise Allah made. Are you with me? Give me a promise Allah made. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Those who believe and do a good deed. Right? Do I believe in this? Of course I do. Then why don't I do it? You see why he said truthful? The first one, you see it. This is how they tell you nafs al-mutma'inna. You see the promise of Allah as if you are seeing it. As if you are seeing it. So someone, if behind this door, somebody comes and tells me, behind this door there's a person. If I am a nafsul mutma'inna, he's there or she's there. I didn't see it, but I know it's there. Done. Am I? That's one. And a nafsul mutma'inna, the nafs, the human being, when he or she is afflicted by an affliction. This is gonna probably tells you most of what we all need to learn. any affliction, أصيب بمصيبة, he or she knows it's from Allah, accepted, and He's pleased with. مصيبة, any affliction, think of this. Afflictions at every age we have a kind of. Like if somebody has a teenager and a mother who just had a newborn, right? And the newborn is sick and the mother is panicky, right? The mother who has a 16-year-old starts laughing, right? It's okay, just give him time, always be fine. Wait till he become a teenager and see what you're gonna see. Don't we say that? Then the person who has children who got married and now your grandmother, right? You look at the 16 and says, this is much easier. Wait till they get married and then they come to you every day and they give you all their problems. So musibah is a different, and don't belittle somebody because at that age, at that stage, for them, this is a calamity. That's why it's a different. But in general, anyone in this room, any one of us, regardless where I am, a calamity hits me, my response immediate, not after I think or I listen to something, immediate response, raditu. I accept and I am pleased, then your nafs is mutma'inna. And nafs al-mutma'inna, now it's going to get higher. I left the best to the last, as they say. And nafs al-mutma'inna, it is so much in peace. Look at this one, especially this day and age. With every order, Allah ordered. Every order, Allah ordered. And every command, He said, do or don't do. And never question it or bring his or her opinion and what he or she thinks above it. And nafsul mutma'inna. So how many of us are nafsul mutma'inna now? It's the highest level. That's why He said, irja'i ila rabbiki, and scholars teaches you, Allah didn't say irja'i ila Allah, irja'i ila rabbiki. He used personal. Go back to your Lord. Radiyatan mardiyya. You are pleased and happy what you're going to get, and Allah is pleased with you. And nafsul mutma'inna. And they say it is one of the ways which is related to what I just said, to get to a nafsul mutma'inna, to reach there, is to know the reality of this life. SubhanAllah, in Tazkiyah, they keep reminding you of this. The reality of life, how quick it will end. 2005. I still remember it like yesterday. It's 14 years ago. I remember it like yesterday. 14 years ago. Wow. So somebody who was born 14 years ago now is a teenager. Somebody who was a teenager 14 years ago now is probably a mother or a father. The more I think of life, it's going to end up quickly, I will settle. And probably one of the nice ways of looking at the nafs al-mutma'inna, the nafs that is settled, sakina. It doesn't move up and down. And all these reactions, settled. Like what they say, if you remember the story of Sayyidina Musa, when he threw his stick and it's engulfed all the sticks of the magicians. And what did the magicians do right away? They believed, right? In Surah Taha, Fir'aun looked at them and says, you believed in him, right? And he starts threatening them. What did they respond? I loved it. فَقْضِ مَا أَنْتَ قَاضٍ. Do what you want to do. إِنَّمَا تَقْضِي هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. This life is short and it's going to end. Do whatever you want to do. Remind yourself of this. This life is short. Taqdi is very quickly. 14 years ago, it's like a blink of an eye. And this is true, ask your mom. I still remember the delivery of Maryam. details. How old is Maryam now? 17. I remember it like yesterday. 17 years ago. Another 17 years from now, Allah knows where we will be. How many of us will be on the top? Or how many of us will be under? So, an-nafs al-mutma'inna. The second one, which they say most of the believers are this one. Alhamdulillah. An-nafs al-lawwama. And what's an-nafs al-lawwama? They say blameworthy, reproachful self. Self that blame. But the blame is for good reason. And Allah, why they say this is a good nafs? Because Allah made an oath by it. In the Surah Al-Qiyamah, لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة. So blameworthy, reproachful self or nafs. And what is this one? This is you and me and all of us. They say this one, think of the first one we talked about, is this lake serene, still, doesn't change. Except everything comes from Allah. سمعنا وأطعنا. Second one, this one. This one does not stay still on one condition or in one state. It turns very quickly. كثيرة التقلب. It turns upside and down. Meaning, sometimes it remembers and sometimes it's in a state of heedlessness. Sometimes walking toward Allah, going to Allah. Sometimes the other direction. Sometimes loves and sometimes hate. Sometimes very happy and pleased with Allah, sometimes sad. Sometimes tarda, pleased, and sometimes is angry. Sometimes obey and Allah conscious, and sometimes it's not. So that's the first criteria, that it is not yet reached a steady state. So how do I know, am I lawwama, am I mutma'inna? Al-mutma'inna is a steady state. If Allah gives me $1 million, alhamdulillah. If Allah make me lose $1 million, alhamdulillah. Mutma'inna, because that's khair, that's khair. That's how I see it. If Allah give me everything I want, alhamdulillah. If Allah takes everything I have, is alhamdulillah. Al-mutma'inna. Please, imagine if we all have a nafs al-mutma'inna. No crimes, no killing, no problems, no social injustice, none of this. Second one is the commonest one. And Al-Hasan al-Basri, he said, it's the nafs of al-mu'min. Because the believer, true one, keeps blaming himself or herself. Why did you do that? Why did you say that? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you get up for Fajr? Why you were so lazy? Why you take her as a friend and you know she's not good for you? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Usually, repeatedly. Why did you do it? What was your intention? How did you do it? So that's the other way of looking at it. Third one, which is a little bit higher, and this we all have to at least be here. If that person does an act of disobedience, he or she will blame herself. Why did you do it? What about if I did a good deed? How am I going to be blameworthy or reproachful? I just did a good deed. Exactly. Why didn't you do it better? Why didn't you do it better? To improve. Like if I go to a test and I get 80, some people think 80, or I get B+. A lot of people think, what's wrong with B+? But I am perfectionist, A+ personality. What is this B+ business? No, I need an A+. That's with Allah. So always, even when I do a good deed, I see it, I didn't do the best I can. I should do better. And they said, and Imam Ibn al-Qayyim has a beautiful one. He said, the nafs al-lawama, this one, is two kinds. It is reproachful, but it deserves to be blamed. It's not a good one. And which one is this? They say it's the ignorant one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take her, me, or you having this nafs blameworthy. Allah will say, why did you not do that? Meaning, because of my ignorance and being unjust to myself, I don't blame myself the right way. Did you get my point? For example, I blame myself. Why didn't my house was very clean when the guests came in? But I don't blame myself, why didn't I not do a better salah? So I blame myself for things that is not important in the sight of Allah. And I don't blame myself on something that is what Allah wants me to. Did you get it? And this also us. This also us. That's why they say this is all in the believer, al-mu'min. And the good one, the good blameworthy one, is the one who keep reminding the person, when he does or she does good deed, you can do better. You absolutely can improve. And especially when it comes to you and you say, I can never do this. I can never memorize the Quran, for example. You find it's a huge task. And your nafs, the good lawama, will say to you, why not? Not somebody. Inside you, you're here, why not? The people who memorize Quran is better than you. For example, when you are going to do a major task that's pleasing to Allah, Shaitan comes to you and people comes to you and says, you can't do this. And then your nafs, the good lawama, will come and say, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. Why not? You have the energy, you have the money, you have the ability, whatever it is. And the best lawama is the one that takes you accountable in this dunya and blame you for not doing the best for Allah. So when you hear it inside you, this is why I always say this when a woman comes to me and says, I can't believe where I am, look at me, I used to do this and now I'm not doing this. I was like, this is khair. This is good news. Because now you are blaming yourself. That means your heart is alive. Not to the extent that you become despair. If you become despair, that's bad. Now Shaitan came. It's the good one is the one that pushes the human being. For the sake of Allah, don't forget that. It's not for the sake of dunya, because for the sake of dunya, alhamdulillah, we do it all the time. So where are we? Are you a nafs al-lawama? We all have the nafs. We have to have a nafs. I doubt if anyone in this room, including me, is a nafs al-mutma'inna. If you are, please talk to me after the session and teach me. Ya Rabbi Ameen. That's one of the dua you do for yourself. I really mean it. You make a dua for yourself. I cannot do it, you can do it. I don't think we are nafs ammara bisu. Why I'm so confident? You will not be here, exactly. Will never bring, and nafs ammara bisu will never in this beautiful day bring you here. Immediately we'll say, go out and walk. No, look at the beauty. Go, go, go. Remember yesterday was all raining? Allah knows tomorrow. Now you're going to go back in a few hours. You can listen to the recording. Ammara bisu. Lawama maluma wa lawama ghayr maluma. Ibn al-Qayyim, طبعا, this is his words. Lawamatu maluma, meaning it's a blameworthy that needs to be blamed. And blameworthy that is not need to be blamed, on contrary, needs to be praised, is the one that tells you can do better. Why you prayed only 2 rak'at in the night, you can do 4. Why did you fast only Monday, you can do Monday and Thursday? Why did you only control your anger? Why didn't you respond in a nice way? Push you to the higher level in what pleases Allah. So where are you? So most of us are al-nafs al-lawama. Most of us. Al-lawama, alhamdulillah. Most of us are lawama in the good way. Most of us, right? And this is one of the terms we use in Tazkiyah is don't be the lawyer of yourself. Don't defend yourself at all. Defend others is fine, but don't defend yourself. Don't say it's okay. I didn't mean it. I'm talking about with Allah. In my relationship with Allah, don't, because He knows. Say, Allah forgive me, weak. خلق الإنسان ضعيفا. I was created weak. But don't say it's okay. So don't defend yourself, because if you defend yourself, it's not al-lawama. It's actually a hidden way of al-ammara bis-su. It's a hidden way. The last one, alhamdulillah, before we go for salah, the self that urge evil. Evil, ammara bis-su. Urge for evil. And this one, absolutely not praiseworthy. On the contrary, there is no place, no condition that nafs ammara bis-su will be good, because the name, the title is urge evil. How can evil be good? Right? This nafs could be anybody, could be a mu'min, could be a Muslim, could be a kafir, could be anyone. It's that nafs keeps ordering itself. I mean, that person who has a nafs al-ammara, this nafs keeps ordering him or she to do every evil thing. Every evil thing. Add to it, shaitan comes and work, and they beautify this evil. That's why it is hard to say no. They beautify it. Give me an example that you have seen, it's not you, of an evil act someone is doing. Disobedience of Allah. Anything that comes to your mind. For example, lying, right? Lying. And you see it's lying. The person who's lying probably knows he or she is lying. Do you think then the nafs inside will say, it's okay, lie, you know, it's a major sin, Allah will punish you, but that's okay? No. The nafs is going to be, it depends on this person. There will be two kinds. Nafs al-mutma'inna, this is not part of it. So, al-ammara bis-su, what is going to tell that person? Many ways. You know what? Justify it exactly. You know what? I had to do it to save more harm. It's not a big deal. I mean, what did I say? No one gets hurt. It's not a major thing. Allah is Ghafoor Rahim. All these statements, you hear it, you and I, inside, and we hear it constantly from people. That's a nafs al-ammara bis-su. That beautify. It doesn't tell you, no, nafs ammara bis-su will say, you know what, don't pray, it's okay. You're going to go to Jahannam, what's the big deal? Nobody will do that, because you're not going to do it. It's beautify it. Allah Ghafoor Rahim, the usual word, we hear it all the time. And of course Allah is Ghafoor Rahim. Of course Allah all forgiving, all merciful. And what about Allah Shadid al-Iqab? What about Allah has severe punishment? I don't look at that part, which comes most of the time together in the Quran. So the nafs al-ammara is usually the one that urge you, beautify to you, make it beautiful and easy to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is one of the du'as that you always hear it, especially in Salatul Jumu'ah and the khutbah. And one of the du'a of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, he used to say, نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا. We seek refuge in Allah from the evil of our nafs, nafus, nafs al-ammara. وسيئات أعمالنا, and the bad deeds, because that's the result. Nafs starts acting inside you, justify it, and then translate into action. And who said this statement in the Quran? Surah Yusuf. وما أبرئ نفسي إن النفس لأمارة بالسوء إلا ما رحم ربي. I do not praise myself and remove from myself from sins. ما أبرئ نفسي. Nafs is ammara bisu. The nafs is usually order and beautify and urge for evil. Who said it? There's two opinions about it. That's why I'm explaining this to you. So you can see how pious people think of themselves, and you and me, how we think about ourselves. One opinion says it's the wife of Al-Aziz. But the other stronger opinion, same, says it's Sayyidina Yusuf who said it. Imagine. Sayyidina Yusuf, ما أبرئ نفسي إن النفس لأمارة بالسوء. What about you and me? So this is why in Tazkiyah, in common words, don't be the lawyer, the attorney of yourself. Don't give yourself excuses. You did it, it was a mistake. Don't say, it's okay, it's a mistake. No, it's not okay, it's a mistake, but it's not okay. Like this is what you say to your child. What makes you upset with your child? When he does something very bad and instead it's right in front of you, it's okay, it's a mistake. One of the most annoying words that mothers hear, right? And you look at him and says, it's a mistake, but it's not okay. That's me and you with my nafs. So 3 nafs, really, wallahi. Subhanallah, and sometimes that's why I keep reminding you of how you talk to the children, because this is how we talk to ourselves. We are as children. The last thing before I say is the other definition, or one thing before I come to this is it 3 nufus or it's 1 nafs in 3 states? Scholars differ. Most correctly, and Allah knows, it's 1 nafs in 3 states, which is good news. Because that means I can be al-mutma'inna. Sometimes I am al-ammara, urge evil. Most of the time I'm in between, but I can be there. It changes. Now there is another kind of nafs, which is very much related to Tazkiyah. And this is actually not in the Quran, this is Imam al-Ghazali. They call him the psychologist of Islam. He said the human beings are 4 kinds. They're nufus, based upon what makes them happy. It's amazing. Before I say this, some of you know, so if you know, don't answer. Let's the others who are first time with us. What makes you happy? Food, usually number 1, right? That's one kind of nafs. What else makes you happy? Food or sleep, all this in 1 nafs. I'm sorry? Talk to friends. Praise, that's another nafs. Excellent. Better than everybody else. I want, when I come to the wedding, I am wearing the best, and I want everyone to look at me. Why? That's a nafs. 3rd and 4th, the best one. Gave you a clue. Only connected to Allah. So let's come to them very quickly. This is a long topic, but I want to cover it because I want you to go home and don't look at your husband and say he has this nafs. You know how we are, right? Or my child or my friend. This is not the issue. That's not the reason I'm teaching you. This is about you, right? Please don't do this. They will never send you back again. Okay? So the first nafs, the nafs that is happy with food, with drink, with laziness, with sleep, with watching TV, or relationships, they call it the cattle-like nafs. Cattle-like, like cat, like sheep, you know, the animals that doesn't hurt, but they are so worried about their comfort. If you want to make a cat happy, what do? Feed her, and she starts licking, right? And then she goes and sleep. I even joke always with my cat. I was like, what do you do for a living? You know, you eat and sleep and clean, and then eat and sleep and clean. This is us. This is us. So true. Nothing else. You give me a good meal, I'm very happy. Let me sleep and don't bother me, I'm very happy. Let me watch this thing on the TV, be the couch potato, and I'm very happy. If I tell you I am or you are, Allah exalted us, but we are like cat, it's like, what? That's kind of a nafs. Second one, The nafs that wants to be better than everybody else. Which one? Like a predator. Predator. Like, think of the animals, and this you will never forget. Lion. What makes a lion happy? Have you seen a lion in real life? Right? Those of you who have been to Africa, you have seen a lion. If you've been to safari, you have seen them, right? I've seen. What does lion do? What makes the lion happy when he's like that looking at you? You say, okay, this is what he did before. What did he do? They usually prayed, went, grabbed an animal. You know what they do? La ilaha illallah. They eat only few bites. Subhanallah. Few bites, and the animal, it's usually deers, and in front of them dead. And they are very happy and start licking themselves. They call it the predator nafs. So predator nafs. What do I do as a woman, as a human being? And I am like that lion. Power, control, power. I'm the best, I'm the king. Everyone is for me, under me. I like to take over, even if I don't need, what makes me happy. Have you seen some people like that? They call it النفس السبوعية. السبوعية is like the predator. Predator. سبوعية from سبع. سين باء عين واو ياء تاء مربوطة. سبع in English, in Arabic is a lion. السبوعية. That's the second. Third, which animal does this? It's usually not animal. It's shaitan. What does shaitan do? And he's very happy. Make people fight. Make husband and wife divorce. Create hatred, animosity between people, jealousy, and nafs al-shaytaniyah. So when do I have a shaytani nafs? So someone comes, look at this. You probably never thought of this. So you come to me and you are complaining about your husband, right? And I'm jealous from you, but you don't know this. So you come to me and says, look what he did, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. My response, to create more hatred. So then I will hear they got divorced. Yes. And I am now happy. Shaitan. Shaitani. Evil. Shaitan. They translate it as shaitani nafs. Shaitani nafs, when they create hatred between people. Usually people of namima. People who goes between people and you didn't know what she said about you, and then you exaggerate. That's the third. The fourth, the good one, al-malaiki, angelic, the angelic nafs. And what is the criteria of angelic nafs? What makes angelic nafs happy? Think of an angel. When you think of an angel like somebody, you say, you know what? She's like an angel. What is her criteria? Soft, quiet, brings always, wherever she is, brings khair, goodness, calm people, bring people together. That's in general. And between her and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the happiness, this is what? The happiness is when she or that nafs is doing something pleasing Allah. Whether it is an act of worship, whether it is with human beings, whether it's with the earth, nafsul malaikiyah. All of us have them all. All of us have them all. The question is the percentage. How much I am malaiki nafs? What's the percentage? How much I am shaitani, evil? How much I am cat-like? That's one in general. And this changes. I could be in the morning, predator. At work, I'm predator. At home, I'm cattle-like. Right? With friends, I'm shaytani. SubhanAllah. Ask yourself this question. Which nafs you are? And which one, and you're going to say all of them. All of us have malaiki. All of us. Because you are happy when you obey Allah. Nobody is sad because they obeyed Allah. No way. But is how often? And is this the predominant? So look at yourself and say which one you are. And that's how, where do I start? Because all these questions I put on this side is, where do I start? How do I start? Number one, start identifying who you are. Which qalb you have, which alhamdulillah, yesterday we went in it in detail. Which heart you have, and which nafs you have. That is predominant. That identify you. You know what I'm saying? The most common one, your usual. So if you're always angry and you are always jealous, then your common nafs is shaytani. Shaytani, jealous. If you are always happy, let me just go home. 5 o'clock, I'm leaving work, let me go home. And then when I'm eating, I was like, Allah. And this Monday and Thursday fasting, and I can't do this. I can't do this. Don't talk to me about this. This is very hard for me. I can't. I love my coffee. All of us. And I'm not saying it's one time. One time, then you have a little bit. But when it's always, then the majority, the predominant me, I don't care if somebody is better than me. It doesn't move me. Everyone is richer than me. Nothing. I don't care if she is good with her husband or not. But I'm very focused on my food and my comfort zone. Then I am a bahimi. So here you go. In Tazkiyah, to start the process, which one you are. Meaning, quickly, I know I passed the time, but because I want to finish this, subhanAllah, I wanted to finish it before they had to leave because of the flight. If you are a person who is predominantly a bahimi, cattle-like, your treatment is by less food, more fasting, more dhikr applies to all of them. I'm going to come to, that's what I'm going to end up with. This is the next after lunch and salah. This is what we're going to cover. Dhikrullah applies to all of them, including malaiki. To keep the malaiki strong, I need it. If my happiness, food and drink and sleep, less sleep, if you sleep 8 hours, it's going to be 5, it's going to be 7, then it's going to be 6. Meaning I'm going to be staying up longer in the night, or better wake up early, in salah, reading Quran, doing something. Because I am not going to feed, this is the word. I am not going to be feeding my nafs. I don't know what's the food unless I know what nafs it is. If I am a shaytani nafs, what is my main medicine? Exactly. Less socializing with people. Cut it down unless you have to. And when I say I have to, meaning what Allah told me. My family and the haqq of a Muslim, the right of the human being. Somebody gets sick, I need to visit them, or I call them minimum and ask about them. Someone died in their family, I have to go and give them condolences. They invite me for a wedding, or they invite me for a aqiqah, or they invite me for walima. As long as there is no disobedience of Allah, that's their right. That's the right. But every weekend and every day, let's go and have a coffee and do this. If my company is not angelic nafs, if my company angelic nafs, spend all day with them. But where are they? Tell me. If my company is not, don't. Not because of them, because of you or me. Don't blame people. Me. If I see her coming and she's carrying a new bag, it's going to affect me. This is us women, subhanAllah. Right? New shoes. Oh, she told you she moved to a new home. Affect us. I don't want this. Pull away. That's why I'm going to go back again and talk about the social media. And post everything on there and let everybody look at you. And then what will happen to the hearts? If I am a sabu'i nafs, love control, the same treatment. Because who are you going to control? It's people. Cut your interaction. That's why khalwa, being alone, is again one of the cornerstones of Tazkiyah. Less. Get out of all these WhatsApp groups. Yani WhatsApp is an amazing thing Allah gave us, but also sometimes becomes a niqmah. Literally, I mean, one of my teachers, I remember I was there and she's so sweet, cannot say no to people. It's like, I don't read an ayah and there's a thing, WhatsApp came in. Subhanallah, get out of these groups. Family group is a different story. A group that will help you to obey Allah and do khair, yes. But groups of whatever, just leave politely. And unfortunately, and some scholars actually said this, they say you are intruding the privacy of someone if you add them to a group without asking them. The right of the person is to ask her, is it okay to I put you in this group? If they didn't, then when you leave, they should not get upset. Because a lot of us get upset when people leave. But they say, if they did not ask you, that's your right. So less interaction with people as much as you can. Angelic Nafs, how do you feed it? And every act of obedience to Allah. Dhikr, salah, siyam, umrah, hajj. Good, help people, obey your parents, good to the family, good to the husband, good to the children. Ihsan, you do things with best ability. You are so Allah conscious in every word, in every action, in money, in material, everything. Then you are an angelic nafs. So you look at your day and see from the 24 hours, 8 hours we are feeding the bahimi nafs. We have to. 6, because we have to sleep. So the bahimi nafs is always the winner. We have to eat. But it's the excess that we need to stop. So look at these. These are the 2 things. Your qalb, now alhamdulillah, you learned about the qalb. Now learn about the nafs. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to show you. That's one of the dua of, actually it's Sayyidina Umar, I shared it with you yesterday, but you can turn it to a dua. Ya Allah, bassirni bi'ayub nafsi. Show me my shortcomings. Show me. I want Allah to show me. I don't want people to tell me because I'm not going to accept it. Even if it's true. Even if it's true. I won't. This is my nafs. My shaytani nafs doesn't like it. Allah will show it to me, show me, and help me to correct it. Ya Rabbi Ameen. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه تسليما كثيرا.
صدق الله العظيم.